Welcome to All Wheel Driven, a podcast by Audi Club North America, where we explore all things Audi and the incredible people who bring it to life. All Wheel Driven is presented by XPEL, the official paint protection film of Audi Club. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of All Wheel Driven. Today's guests are a power couple of hill climb racing. It's Emmanuel Cecchet and Margaret Sharron. They're also co-founders of Frog Racing, rally, hill climb racing veterans behind some of the most exciting motorsport initiatives on the East Coast and beyond. Emmanuel completed his first run at Pikes Peak earlier this year in, of all things, the Audi S1 E2, one of the, if not the most iconic rally cars of all time. So that's a heck of a way to start. And then for Margaret, she's got something special going on as well with the recent announcement of putting together an all-women's team for the 2026 running of Pikes Peak. So definitely some exciting stuff going on there between the two of them that we're excited to talk about today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And if you don't mind, Frog Racing, if we could start with the origin story of that a little bit. When you name something Frog Racing, there has to be a cool story somewhere. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about how that came about.
Well, Frog Racing is a love story. I was vacationing in Switzerland with a friend of mine and actually met Emmanuel there, and it was love at first sight. And we corresponded. He would always call me my princess, or ma princess in French. And he always signed his emails to me as Ta Grenouille, as your frog.
Oh,
so awesome. The Brits call the French a frog, so I was naturally always a frog. And that's how it started in the long distance relationship between the frog and the princess.
Yeah, so he called me princess first and he was the frog, and then it just made sense, Frog Racing, and had the whole princess frog theme.
Oh, I love that. So
there's a longer story. I could say there's a longer story, but you probably don't want to hear.
We've got time. It sounds like a great story for sure. So when did Frog Racing become Frog Racing? You know, the motorsport. You know, the actual Frog Racing. Like how long has that been in operation?
I think the name came in 2014. We started racing in the US around 2013. Just starting with autocross and playing around. I was looking at opportunities for racing in the US, didn't know anything about what was available. Then discovered autocross. I had a Corvette C4 at the time. I was like, well, that could be fun to take the C4, do this. And I started autocross. I thought that was the best thing in the world. And then, it's still a great way to get into the sport. You just need a stock car and that's it. You just go and drive and have fun. And very low risk. Both for the cars and for the driver. And the club in the region, which was the SCCA, had a big autocross program, but they had also a very big rallycross program. And once a year, they were doing a fundraiser for leukemia. And during that event, they were getting all the parts of the club, autocross, rallycross, road racing together. And they had a special event that they called the Double Cross, which was a mixed event of autocross and rallycross. So you would have half a day doing autocross and the other half a day doing rallycross. And you had two classes. Either you use different cars, one for autocross and another one for rallycross, or you use the same car for both events. And so I just had my C4. I'm like, I can't really rallycross that. So there was a guy from the rallycross section who was interested in driving my C4. I'm like, okay, you drive my C4. I drive your Golf in the dirt. And that's how I got introduced to rallycross here. And after that, it's definitely snowballed, getting more and more involved on the dirt. And there's no tarmac rallies in the US, or at least there is not anymore. So the best next thing to that was hill climbs. And especially the hill climbs we have in New England are relatively rough and close to what you would get in a tarmac rally. So we transition slowly to that. And the same thing in the region here. You can start with a stock car. You don't need a cage or anything. You can discover the sport. And then when you get faster, you have to cage your car and get more safety equipment. And so we started to have cage cars for hill climbs, and then from there we went to a full stage rally, because those cars can actually do both the tarmac and gravel when you get the proper suspensions.
Well, actually, in 2013 and 14, I was racing my daily driver, which was an Audi A4, which I loved. And then in 2015, we bought the stage rally car, the 04 STI, that was already fully caged, and then we started racing that. And Emmanuel did his first stage rally in 2015. I stayed back because I still had teenagers at home. And then 2016, the New England region SCCA started the rally sprint program here in New Hampshire at Team O'Neill. And so we started, or I started rally sprints in 2016.
Okay. So was it kind of learning as you go behind the wheel? Did you either of you have like official or formal rally, training, racing, any racing schools or anything you attended, or you just started entering events and working your way up?
Yeah, I had a motorcycle, so I took a motorcycle course, and I think racing is similar to driving a motorcycle, the lines that you take, and you learn the banking of the roads. And so that was a little bit of my background, but no, we were self-taught, or at least I was self-taught. We never could afford a rally school. Like, I would have loved that, but we never could. So we just had to get experience and learn as we went.
I had a few driver training back in Europe when I lived in France. I lived in the French Alps, so in the winter, some of the ski resorts over there have tracks, and actually there's a racing series called the Trophée Andros, where people race cars on ice tracks. And in the off, when they don't have races, they do schools to learn to drive on ice and snow. So I did a few of those, and there was also a school near Lyon where they had a dirt track where you could race cars. So I had some exposure to that. But the racing in Europe is way more expensive than it is in the US. And here it's already expensive, but everything has to be spec classes and car builds to specific classes with specific parts. Whereas in the US, basically, you can take, the Audi you have in the back of the garage and go and play and have fun with it. So it's way more affordable forms of racing here. Plus, gas is way more expensive, way cheaper here than it is in Europe.
Sure. Right. So speaking of racing, again, congratulations on your Pikes Peak accomplishment earlier this year. That is amazing, and even more so considering that I guess a year prior you suffered a pretty big crash. Talk us through that a little bit. What was it like to get back from that? Right, that obviously can shake you to your core and maybe not make you want to get behind the wheel again. What kind of physically, mentally, what did that do?
It's both a physical and mental challenge. First, the physical challenge, because there was a really big impact. There was a Burke hill climb in Vermont, and hill climb I knew very well. I mean, I have been racing there for over a decade, and we still don't know exactly what happened. I mean, the car lost grip in a very high-speed corner, flat out in fifth gear, and we completely lost grip and went off and hit the first tree on the outside of the road at 85 miles per hour. So there was a very big deceleration, and we hit a tree so hard that we actually moved the tree and unrooted the tree. And it was a very sizable tree. I'll share a picture of the incident. And when the tree got unrooted, it fell on top of the car. So and it was a pretty big tree, so it took them an hour to just get us out of the car. I had a shattered left leg. The tree went all the way to the dashboard, and the cage stopped it. So the foot got compressed, and the bone kind of exploded inside. So it took me a while before I could walk again because the bits were still floating. They put a rod to reattach the knee to the ankle, but all the bits in between were floating. So it was a challenge to just walk again, but we were able to. We're at the same time building our Audi RS4 for following season, and the car was ready. I finished the interior after the cage was done in the wheelchair, and was working with a wheelchair in the car. And like, we need to go to the last hill climb of the season, which is the same as we are going this afternoon, Okemo. We need to test the car, so I know what we have to work on during the winter. And so I was hopping from the wheelchair inside the car. I couldn't use much of my left foot, so I was like, I'm not going to clutch more. It's great that this car can rev very high in the RPM, so we can do pretty much the whole hill in one gear.
Right.
Yeah, so that was, I'm like, I don't really want to take another co-driver with me. Mentally, I wasn't ready to have someone with me if something happened. So actually, Margaret jumped in. I'm like, I'm okay if it's the two of us, but I don't want to take someone else in the car. And actually,
it's okay if I crash with you.
Yeah, actually, we ended up crashing because we had issues with the electronics in the car, but nobody was hurt. The car didn't get hurt. We didn't get hurt, but that was a pretty scary moment.
Over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
backwards into the spin and backwards into the woods.
We parked between two trees. It was we discovered that more modern cars need to use the electronic to be happy so that they don't do numbers on you. So, but yeah.
Although I did get back after that run in my race car into another route, so we're a little bit crazy. But
right.
His crash at work was huge, and I remember I was in front of him and he was behind me, and I was at the top and just got out of the car talking to people and waiting for the next car, not thinking how much time had gone by, and I'm like, oh, where's the next car? I'm like, oh, that's Emmanuel supposed to be behind me. Where's Emmanuel? And I went to try to get some information, and that's when I found out that he had crashed. And not everybody knows that we're husband and wife.
Oh.
That we're part of a team. So
right.
Once I found out, I went running back to. I'm like, get permission for me to go down, and I went running back to my car and yelled at my co-driver Jen to jump in the car, and we just went speeding down. And it took an hour to get him out of the car and his co-driver, and there was a lot of learning moments that not only us, the New England Hill Climb clubs, the firefighters, everyone learned a lot.
Wow.
That was important.
Yeah, it was the biggest crash they have had.
We didn't have all the equipment.
Right.
Not everyone was experienced at cutting out cages. So
right.
Emmanuel put a good video together for learning moments on that accident.
Actually, there's a whole video of the crash explaining the crash and the safety equipment, how stuff works. So it's a bit a long video, but if you want to learn about safety, it's actually a pretty good one.
Wow.
As a team, his co-driver was more injured than Emmanuel, and so I had to make the decision who to go to the hospital with. And what people might not realize is that I did not choose my husband. I chose our friend Cez, and he didn't have any. He was from Canada. He didn't have any family or people here, and I went with him to the hospital, and they were at separate hospitals 2 hours apart. So, but I went in the ambulance with him. So that was a tough decision too, but it was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a broken arm and broken leg. It was fine. I mean, it was hurting, but it was fine.
Right. How's his recovery? The co-driver said, is he okay?
Yeah. We did a rally together this year, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Doing all right. I think both of them. When you break bones and things, you do have some chronic pain issues, but they're both walking and talking and,
actually,
still playing. So that's good.
The first rally of the RS4 on gravel was with him, so that was great.
Oh wow, great!
Rally the boss this year. So actually, coming back to the crash of the RS4 at Okemo, that's the weekend where I met Frank and Rayteam that had the Audi S1 at the same event. And they were excited about the RS4. I was super excited about the S1. We did pictures together. The whole Audi guys were there. So I picked their brain about, hey, what's going on with my car? Why are the electronics acting this way? And so we had a great first contact there. And that was the very first time I was meeting Rayteam. That was at that event. And we were talking about Mount Washington. So the oldest hill climb in the US is Climb to the Cloud at Mount Washington. That's why we always say, oh, Pikes Peak is the second oldest hill climb in the US, because actually the oldest is Mount Washington. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm preparing the S1 to run at Mount Washington next year. I'm like, oh, actually Mount Washington is not going to happen next year. We couldn't raise enough funds to make the event happen. It's going to be the year after, in 2026. I was like, oh, what can we do to help for the event? Frank is always a very outgoing person and always trying to help. Like, well, I'll put you in touch with the organizers, and if there's anything you can do to help, we really want that event to happen again. And so any help is going to be welcome. And that was pretty much it. After we wrapped up the event, came back home, I had a bunch of work to do on the car. And Frank called me a couple more times during the winter to get in touch about Climb to the Cloud and Mount Washington. Until February, when he called me back again, I'm like, oh, I thought he was calling me about Mount Washington again. And it's like, well, I'm going to be blunt, but would you like to drive the S1 at Pikes Peak? I'm like, what?
You're like, let me ask my wife.
Right.
And
and he told me, and I was like, you didn't say yes? You know, he's like, no, I had asked you first.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, well, of course I'd like to, but
Sure.
let's meet and talk about the project. So Frank lives about 2 hours away. We live in Western Massachusetts. He lives towards Boston. So I'm like, if you are there on Saturday, we'll come on Saturday and talk about the project. And I'm like, it's already February. Pikes Peak is in June. The car was still in pieces with bits a little bit everywhere in the shop. I'm like, we are going to have a very short time frame to get that together. I'm still working with a cane. I have to make sure that I'm going to be also able physically to drive this car, because nothing is assisted.
Actually, you made it on purpose, not walking with a cane in his shop. You didn't want to look disabled.
Right.
And I'm like, my main concern was like, okay, I don't need to left foot brake, so I can always brake with my right foot. Though I have a prosthetic Achilles in my right foot, my Achilles tendon snapped and it has been reattached with bits of plastic. So I have limited pressure I can apply with my right foot if the pedal is too hard.
So that's your excuse, right?
If I try to press harder on the pedal, actually my foot doesn't press harder, my tendon just stretches. So there are cars that I can't drive physically if the controls are too hard. So I'm like, if I can drive the car, I'd love to. And I have to make sure I can also press the clutch with my broken leg at the moment. And hopefully by Pikes Peak, it's going to be exactly a year to my crash. I hope my leg is going to be back in one piece. And then we started testing pretty quickly after that. They were finishing buttoning the engine. They did a bunch of upgrades on the car compared to the year before. And we did a first track day at the track in Thompson in Connecticut, that is an hour and a half from here. It was pouring, but it was monsoon rains. And so that was a great introduction to the S1, which is a very easy car to drive.
You're joking.
Yeah, I'm joking. Of course.
Yeah, right.
It's an extremely violent car. Everything is extremely basic. It's a car from the 80s, and everything is still in the 80s. You have a foot of play between each gear and the shifter, even when it's engaged, of course. So it takes a while to figure out where the gears exactly are. And the power delivery is so violent that you cannot step on the gas. So there's a lot of lag, there's a big turbo, but when the turbo kicks in, if you stay in the gas, it just unloads the suspension and the car just spins the four wheels and doesn't move. So you have to be very gentle in your input to let the power delivery come so that the suspension is going to have time to set so that you are not going to spin the wheel and then put the power progressively. So we did, it was fun that first day to discover the car because it's very safe in the track environment. The hill climbs, you don't have much margin for error and to play around. If you have a mishap, you just have trees everywhere. At the track, there's a lot of space, and in the straight of Thompson, which is a relatively long straight, it was raining. I was in fourth gear. I'm like, okay, let's try the polar delivery in fourth gear. I just put it to the floor, and the car just went up and was spinning the four wheel in the straight like this, just on the board. So wow. It was, I'm like, okay, we'll have to be extremely careful on how we drive this thing. And the short wheelbase makes the car extremely twitchy. So the hill climbs we have here in the regions are very bumpy. The asphalt is very broken. It's a car that is very light. It's 2,500 pounds. It makes over 500 horsepower at the wheel. So it can take speed very quickly, and every time it takes a bump, it just takes off. And you don't have much control on the car when it's not on the ground. So it's a car that is very tricky to drive, but it's the noise of that car. I mean, when there's nothing like the inline turbo 5, and when that thing starts to spool, it's like, oh. So, I mean, it
starts feeling better immediately, right?
Yeah, it's terrifying. You can feel the pain a little bit everywhere in your body, but just with the noise and the sensation, it's like, it's just bliss. It's amazing. So yeah, it was, we had to do quite a bit of work to work some kinks out of the car. And I mean, we had very limited things we could test and change before Pikes Peak, but the car was in good enough shape to go to Pikes Peak and do a run there. So that was definitely a fantastic adventure. I mean, especially driving such an iconic car at Pikes Peak, plus Michel Mouton was there for 40 years anniversary of a win. It was, I mean, everything was just perfect.
That's one of those cosmic things, just all comes together, right? That's amazing. So speaking of Michel, it kind of transitions us a little bit to Margaret and your announcement, which you were putting together for 2026 and an all-woman team for Pikes Peak. Fantastic. So talk to us about that a little bit. How, what was Michel inspiration for that? How did that all come together? For this historic attempt next year.
Well, I think Michel is an inspiration to everybody out there, and it was amazing to be able to meet her in person this summer at Pikes Peak. And I think she had said something on a show in the past that we need more women to inspire other women because we don't have enough women in motorsports, and we need to increase that number of women. So we put together an all-women's team before at Rally Charlevoix in, was it 2021?
Yeah, something like that.
I forget the year, but I was racing in Canada for many years, and I was the only female driver for at least 5 or 6 years. So it was important to me to get more women in racing, so I wasn't the only one anymore. And I recruited finally my co-driver Jen, and we became a driver and co-driver that were women, which was even more unique than just having a women driver. So and then we had the all-women crew at that event at Charlevoix, which was another first time in history in Canadian rally, I believe. Yeah. So it just seemed natural, just kind of keep the momentum going.
Sure.
And,
that's fantastic. So what do you look, as you're building this team, what are you looking for in the women that are vying to be part of Pikes Peak Team 2026? Is it beyond driving skill and beyond, what personality, mindset? What are you looking for?
Yeah, we're just looking for people that have a passion for motorsports. I mean, that's it. Because people don't have to, or I should say women don't have to have a lot of experience, unless they're applying for like the crew mechanic. It'd be nice to have mechanical ability. But on my team, I'm looking for people that can be a house manager, somebody that can help with logistics and transport, and somebody to help cook the meals for everybody and maybe do the grocery shopping. Somebody who can help with media, do media up on the hill and get the background story.
Need someone to drive the truck.
Well, that was part of the transport.
Nice. Great. Awesome. Well, definitely looking forward to following that and see your crew come together. And
and it's a really cool story. If we get our all women's team to Pikes Peak and to Mount Washington in 2026, it's going to be the first time in history that there was an all women's team. So good story.
That's fantastic.
We're hoping it will help us sponsors.
Right. Sure.
I mean, we already have over a dozen applicants who have already applied to be part of the team, and it's great to see people from. It's all over North America. We have Canada and the US, from the West Coast to the East Coast, and younger people, older people, everything. So I think it's important to be able to reach to all the women out there and not just as drivers. You can see Michel Mouton was like the iconic driver, factory team, but I think it's also important to see already grassroots people, everyday people who are there, and it's like, yeah, you can do it, whether you are younger or not. Our teams are really a mix of everything, from people who come for their first event ever and to see how it's like, and people who have done that a bunch of time and just love it and want to come back. So it's going to be great if we can bring a melting pot of people with different backgrounds to both Pikes Peak and Mount Washington. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, Margaret, you are going back to Mount Washington. You've got a record there, right?
Yeah.
So what's that record? What's the record mean to you?
It means a lot, because when I first started racing, I was in the back of the pack. And I had to make my way, through experience, to the top. And it was a long journey. I mean, like we said earlier, we didn't have any official training. So it was all experience based. So it was really epic. When I made it to the top, I knew my run was good. I knew it was better than 2017, but I didn't realize I was a whole minute faster.
Wow.
And when someone came and told me, I was jumping up and down. I was so excited. And then they said, oh, and you're on contention for a podium. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, you're in third right now. So it was just exciting, and I was ecstatic.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. And then I didn't realize right away that I was the fastest woman at Mount Washington. About a month later, I started looking into it, and it was somewhat difficult to try to find those numbers. So about a month later, I found out that I was the fastest woman at Mount Washington. So that was incredible, and it was also another good story to tell and share.
That's fantastic.
What's interesting in the sport is that in hill climb, if you win, you are the king of the hill. It's like, even at the introduction of Michel Mouton at Pikes Peak, she wasn't queen of the hill, she was king of the hill. That tells you how the mentality is still very, very anchored into that mindset.
Sure.
Even keeping stats for women is not a thing that is very common. So we had to do all the digging for that.
Right.
Behind the wheel, men and women are the same, but it's a male-dominated sport, and there's not a lot of women, racers or team members in the past. So it's really, I think, important to acknowledge all women's accomplishments in motorsports so that we can be an inspiration to others, girls and younger women who might want to get into the sport, and that, you can do it, even older couple like us with grandchildren. Grandparents can do it. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great. It's very inspiring, and hopefully, that message does get through to other women out there that get behind the wheel and compete. That's fantastic.
Buy your wife a race car. That's the best advice.
Speaking of race cars, right? So, what made you choose the Audi RS4 as the platform for your most recent events?
Well, I think it chose us, but when I broke the record at Mount Washington, I was in a 2004 Subaru STI, and it had a 36 millimeter restrictor, and it only made 250 horsepower. And I wanted a faster car. I want my next run to be, faster and than the last one, and break my own personal record. So we had to find a car that would fit in the rules, so that I could be faster. And normally aspirated cars don't need restrictors. The RS4 makes 450 horsepower. It doesn't have a turbo that I can blow up.
Right.
And it can race in the same class as the STI had raced in, and so.
Yeah, that's an oddity of the US rules. Margaret was running, and we have been running those hill climbs in rally class, and for those classes, they try to limit the power by putting restrictor in the intake for turbo cars. Mm-hmm. And so the typical stage rally car is a Subaru because it's cheap. There is a lot of aftermarket parts, and the bulk of the field is those cars. And there are a few six-cylinder normally aspirated Subaru, the H6 Subaru swaps that are made and you can basically achieve the same power as a turbo car with a restrictor with a normally aspirated one. But for hill climb, we really wanted something with more power. So there's someone on the West Coast, Sam Albert, who works for Dirtfish, who did swap a Ferrari engine in the Subaru, normally aspirated Ferrari engine. That was a really cool experience. I mean, it was a ton of work. It was a headache to fit a Subaru engine, Ferrari engine in a Subaru. They were like, there must be a simpler solution, a car that has a great normally aspirated V8 engine, and that could work out of the box in stock form. And then remember Jeremy Clarkson testing the RS4 on Top Gear when they were doing that race in the Alps. They're like, oh my God, the RS4 would be a really cool platform. And thing is, there are not that many that were imported in the US. So started to chase one, but that would be really a fantastic platform for Margaret to break a record at Mount Washington. So that was really how the project started. It was the car we could use to fit in rally class to beat the record at Mount Washington.
And like the S1, it's an iconic car.
Yeah.
And it's a V8 and it sounds amazing. I mean, not as amazing as the S1, but it sounds great.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's one of my favorites. I love that generation.
Yeah, and I think it brings us to, even if you look at the way stage rallies this year, you have the top of the World Rally Championship with those cars that are more like tube chassis modified cars that are kind of look like a model from the showroom, but it's very far from it. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see the bulk of the field that filling up stage rally are still those cars from 25 years ago, those old Subarus, the Group A era, where you were basically taking a car from the showroom, putting some bolts on suspension brakes, but that was a stock car and you were going to race. And that's not really possible anymore with modern platforms because there's so much electronics. It's very hard to disable and prepare those cars for racing like this. And I think the RS4 is one of those still last iconic cars that are still all very organic. You have, the steering, everything is perfect in stock form in that car. I've driven a lot of cars, and I think that the best package you can get from a manufacturer out of the box, this car is absolutely amazing. And so we're already in love with the RS4, and it was just a matter of building it for racing now.
Yeah. What went into the build? What are some of the highlights of the RS4 build?
So, of course, a big ticket item is the building a cage, an FIA spec ready cage for the car, and nobody has really ever built ready cages for this. So it took a while to get the design right, and there was a great manufacturer cast competition in Canada who built a cage for me. I gave him the blueprints, and he built that, and after that, in terms of preparation, we wanted the cars to still be able to do double duty, hill climb, and stage rally. So it's not an obvious choice for a stage rally because it's a very heavy car, especially with the big V8 at the front. It's in terms of weight distribution, it's not ideal, but we had to build a custom suspension for it, and most of the suspensions that are available on the market are made to lower the car. Most of them are either people are taking it to the track or just as show cars, and nothing has really been built for competition and raise the height of the car. And I was able to find someone who was continuing the old Öhlins kit for that car, and out of California, PSI Performance. And he had built a version of the Öhlins suspension for an RS4 for someone in Sweden who was ice racing the car. And so we were able to start from those blueprints, and he built me 3 different sets of shocks with so I could test fit them in the car and see what would work. And then we were able to make a suspension that would work for stage rally. The problem is that there is not much room inside for putting big shocks in those cars, especially with the divorce setup at the rear with the spring directly on the control arm. But we're able to find a good setup, and actually the suspension has been working amazing. So,
Great.
The next step, yeah, go ahead.
You have some carbon fiber Kevlar bits on the car as well. Do you have some stuff with CP composites that help you out?
Yes. So one of the big part of rally cars, especially when you are driving on gravel, is protecting the whole floor of the car and the whole underbody. So usually you have a skid plate in the front that protect the engine, and then you have panels under the car, and you have to protect the gas tank guards in the back, and you also put bits to protect the control arm from the rocks and slicing the brake lines and stuff like that. So there was a kit made by that company, OCT Composites, that were making carbon Kevlar kits they took basically the factory molds and were remaking those bits in carbon Kevlar. So I contacted them and say, here's my application. I want something that's going to be able to withstand the cold. We do ice racing in winter, or we do stage rally in Canada when it's -40. I don't want something that breaks in the cold. It has to take abuse from the abrasion from dirt, sand, gravel, and be somewhat resistant to impact if we bottom out the suspension.
Sure.
And the Santa, who is the owner of OCT Composites, said, wow, that looks like a fantastic project. I have different resins that we can use for your application. I have some that are going to resist to the cold, and we have different versions, and we can I can build you a prototype. I'm like, that would be great. And then he built me an entire carbon Kevlar kit with a special resin that resists to the cold, and we mounted that to the car. And actually, I just did a review recently, a couple of weeks ago, after 1 year of use, and that has been holding up amazingly.
Nice.
So that helps a lot. Also, keeping the car clean, it makes the car much easier to wash. And the only issue is the front of the car. The RS4, the whole engine is in front of the front axle, and everything in front, the bumper and stuff, are hanging on nothing solid. It's just a bumper, beam bar. Everything else, the radiator support and everything, is just plastic. So there's nothing to really have a strong support to attach a skid plate in the front in case you nosedive and hit the nose. Especially you have all those radiators in the bumper that you can't find anymore, and it has been a challenge to build something that would hold the front and be able to take some nosedives from the car. So yeah, but that basically, otherwise the car is mostly stock. It's stock engine, stock transmission, stock brakes. It's really just suspension and all the safety equipment, the cage, the seats, and having to, of course, remove all the airbags and deal with all the electronics from all the things you are using. So you have removed so that the car can still function. But other than that, even with our rally cars, and I think that's why we were able to be in the sport for so long, is like we keep the modifications to a minimum that makes the car more reliable. And the thing that really makes a car fast, especially in those conditions, is a good suspension. If you don't have to lift and can take the corner fast and the suspension absorbs it, you don't need more power. So
and the jumps.
And the jumps. Yeah, Margaret likes to jump, so that can lead to a lot of work in the shop over the weekend after the race. But yeah, so really, it's, if you want to build a car for hill climbs, choose a platform right at the beginning so that you don't have many mods to do, and spend your money in seat time and entry fees and going to the races. Don't burn all your budget in just trying to build a car, and you don't have any money to go racing. And then the first time you race it, you realize, oh, actually, the development I did wasn't useful because that's not where I needed to do the work. So
right. No, that's great. That's great advice. So speaking of events, you have any on the calendar as we head into 2026?
Yeah, we have Okemo today. We're leaving after.
Well, even just after this, I was loading the trailer just before the interview. So yeah, that's the last hill climb of the season, Okemo 2 in Vermont.
Yeah, I did a Scotney last month in the RS4, and that was really the first time I drove it for racing. And so I took it easy to learn the car and got faster and faster. So
you still won your class?
Oh, I still won class. Yeah. I didn't beat Greg though.
Yeah, but he's in a different class.
Competition with Greg, but no. So we're going through Okemo and do some more testing and have a fun weekend. And Emmanuel will be my crew.
Yep. Right. Now I'll be
crewing
and doing 50.
So what's that like? What's that like racing as a couple? Where you got some funny, chaotic stories? Any rivalries there? How's that work between the two of you?
Well, there's a funny story about at the New England Forest Rally. One time, I blew up my engine, and so I had to sit it out for the day. And so I went to spectate actually for the first time. And so there was one moment where a friend of ours, Amy Dilks, took a picture of me, and I actually flashed my husband
on stage
as he drove by, and of course,
it made a great picture.
Yeah, he didn't see it obviously, but it made an awesome picture, and yeah, you can't. You can't see anything. I was wearing a sports bra, but from the back you can't really tell. I remember one of our friends' kids said something like, "Dad, I think I saw something," and like it's funny because like no, he didn't. So that was a funny moment. Yeah.
No, but racing together is awesome, especially when both cars get to the finish. Like I think Mount Washington, when we both finished on the podium, you work really hard to prepare those cars in your shop. You get there. We don't really race to win. We just race to have fun and have moments and share that with other people and the connections you make there. That's really what makes racing, especially hill climb and stage rally. The mentality is we are in there together. We all want to get to the finish line, and we're all gonna help each other out to get there. Mm-hmm. It's a very different mentality from track racing, where people want to keep their competitive edge and not share their knowledge and stuff like that. So
we're still competitive.
I mean, we're still competitive, but it's all friendly, and it's like, oh, you got to flat take my tire so you can finish the race and that kind of stuff. So it's being, we have shared a few podiums together, New England Forest Rally, STPR, Mount Washington, and those are amazing when you are able to bring both cars on the podium. It's like you did an achievement as a team.
And one of my the best moments in my life was when I came in first in class at the New England Forest Rally, and that was my first place, first time podium, and it was just amazing. And Emmanuel came in.
Yes, he could spray champagne down on me. I was
That's great.
And then Mount Washington was probably the second, but it was great celebrating. They're not all like, not everything is always happy and perfect, but we've had one chaotic event at Personage where I finished the race and was drinking champagne with people in the parking lot, waiting for awards, and then I'm like, "Where's Emmanuel?" And they're like, "Oh, he is not back yet." I'm like, "How is he not back yet? He was ahead of me." So then that's where I learned that he went off, and I'm like, okay, well, we haven't heard anything, so we're gonna go load the cars and pick up, and he'll be back soon. So we did all that, went back to the area, and he wasn't there. and by then it was 2 a.m, and everyone was gone. So the organizers were having dinner, and this was in the French speaking part of Canada, and I went in, and I'm like, "Where's my husband?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "He's not back." So we went out looking for him, and got back, I think, at like 5 a.m. or something like that.
And it was in the middle of a snowstorm in winter in Canada.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was a moment, and we actually could have gotten stuck going looking for him because we weren't in a rally car. So, but we didn't, which was good. But it was a chaotic moment.
Definitely adventures.
Yeah.
At least the good thing is that you don't have to convince your wife or your husband, "Oh, I need to go racing next weekend. Is that okay?" It's like, I actually have to slow her down. Hey, I have to re-prepare the cars before we can go racing again. So,
right.
Yeah. Buy your wife a race car. You can go racing any weekend you want.
That's good advice. So how do you divide the roles within frog racing? Like, do you both wrench? Do you both do kind of the same things? Or Margaret, do you focus on one thing, and Emmanuel, you focus on something else? Like, how do you split that up?
Well, I think we've been together long enough that we just make it happen. So we do all the roles together. I do wrench some, but obviously Emmanuel does more than I do. I'm definitely not a mechanic, but I can do some basic things, and I can sometimes follow directions and hold the flashlight. Not always in the right spot, but
he has small fingers to get those bolts in those.
Oh yeah, that's helpful.
That's there was one time where you had to change. What did you have to change?
That was the camshaft sensor.
Do it for over an hour, and I came over and I'm like, "Oh, let me help." I did it in 5 minutes. My hands just reached deep inside. But no, we share the roles, and we both do the planning. I tend to be the one to pack our bags and the food and plan the meals, and he tends to pack the trailer. But yeah,
that's great.
We do it together. I mean, we also, most nights cook dinner together. We take care of the yard work and housework,
but we also get a lot of help from our crew. So we have a bunch of friends who come to the races with us and help us for everything in the prep as well. Because we bring basically a spare, when we go at a rally, we have basically a spare car in parts in the trailer, and we have tools to fix anything that can be fixed on site. We have two small lifts and stuff. So it's a lot of stuff to move and a lot of logistics. So.
And it's not just one car like most teams. We have two cars to prepare and to bring, or at least we did until we crashed them. But
And it's not just the cars. You have also to do the maintenance of the trailers, the tow vehicles. It's 2 cars, 2 trailers, 2 race cars. It's a lot of logistics. And when you go rallying, you need also cars for reconnaissance, so 2 recce cars, and so that's a big convoy to bring to a race.
We couldn't do it without our team and our friends helping.
Right. Great. So, Emmanuel, you love to share, right? You've got 700 plus videos out there sharing your knowledge. What drives you to do that?
Well, first, I'm old and I forget stuff. So when I do something, I try to document it so that next time I have to do it, I remember how I did it. And then I have, so I'm a technical inspector for most of the racing series here. I logbook cages and stuff like that. So a lot of people ask me questions rather than just answering one email and having that knowledge lost. I try to document every time someone asks me a question and put that on the website. If we are doing DIY videos, DIY thing, because we had to train the crew. So at the beginning, I was training the crew. Every time someone was coming, I was re-explaining the same thing over and over. I'm like, why don't I record this and so that we can share it? And if someone doesn't have time to come before the race to wrench on the car, he can just watch the video and learn about it, a bit about it before getting there. And so it started like this, and then it grew up more and more as over the years. And I think my thing is that knowledge is only useful if it can be shared. If you just keep it for yourself, you just get lost. And so, and that's really, I think, the mentality in those grassroots motorsport communities where everybody is trying to share. We are all in this together, trying to go and have fun. And so, the more you can share. And even when we recently moved to the Audi platform with the RS4, I was surprised to see how few technical things were available for those platforms. And so we are starting to slowly build information also for the Audi community.
That's great. So have you had folks come back to you and share stories or, thank yous from, learnings from your content? Any fun stories from that perspective? Folks have come back and said, "Oh my gosh, you saved me, dollars or hours or aggravation."
Actually, it's very rewarding, even if it's only one person. But actually, we have had several persons, especially at stage rally, who would come on their first stage rally and they come see you at series. Like, we have a very popular page which is called the Rally Prep page, where we have all the things you need to do to prepare a car for racing. And we couldn't have gone here today, or we wouldn't be here today without that page and all the information we got to do the build and stuff.
Plus all the links you have on it.
Yeah, and it's like if I buy parts, even if it's on Amazon or something, there are the links. It's like, oh, I use this, it works. I use this, don't take it, it just doesn't work. So even videos on stuff that doesn't work is super helpful, so that others don't make the same mistake as you did. It's when someone comes and says, oh, that page was awesome. And some people come and say, "Hey, man, how are you?" I was like, I have no idea who those people are, but some people know me from the videos. And no, it's great. And now there is a recurrent joke, especially in the rally community. Every time someone asks a question, it's like, there's a frog racing video for this. And this has become really a recurrent joke. But it's true that we have built over the time quite a significant library of DIY videos and tips for people who want to wrench on cars.
And now I'm just working with him to make them shorter.
Love that. That's great. What are some longer term goals for you both? Are you rally team? You've got the the all women team you're putting together. Are you looking to put like a training a school together, or more cars in your future? There are always more cars, right? What's some of the longer term?
I was just gonna say always more cars. I dream about more cars. Right now, I mean, we both crashed our stage rally cars. So we just have the RS4 right now. So one goal is short-term goal is to get another car.
Well, if Audi North America is listening and they want to give us an RS6 Avant, I'll prepare it for Pikes Peak and we'll compete as husband and wife.
There you go.
Story, because not only would we have the first all women's team at Pikes Peak, we'd have the first husband and wife competing against each other at Pikes Peak.
Yep.
That's great. Love it. Love it.
But yeah, more. I mean, as long as we can bring more people to the sport. So Margaret has had for several years the Bluebird Fund help us give grants, so we could bring new women to the sport, all expenses paid, so that they can discover whether it's just volunteering or crewing or co-driving, whatever they want to see. But we can take one person at a time. It would be great if we could have that as a even bigger if we get some funding to be able to those events. I mean, even Pikes Peak this year, we would love to take. If we could take a dozen people with us, we would. It's just financially, we don't know what's going to be feasible, and because
we're self-funded, so
yeah, with sponsors.
Yeah. So how do you do all that without going bankrupt, right? Like how do you keep that grassroots thing going?
You find a wife that makes more money than you do.
Yeah, and then you
or you find a husband that works 2 jobs. So
I mean, we try to keep the car expenses to a minimum. That's why we keep the car stocks. We have had sponsors over the years who have given us parts, giving us. It's very hard to get money to go racing, but we can promote products and get parts in exchange for promotion. So that keeps the racing budget lower, but the entry fees are still a big part of the budget. And going to the event, transportation, Airbnb, food, etc. Adds up very quickly. So this year we have been, so we are still discussing with potential sponsor for next year, but we have also started those little pieces of 3D
nice.
So that's actually Pikes Peak. You have the mountain road here from start and different picnic grounds, Glen Cove, Devil's Playground, and the summit. Actually, the cutout of the road is made from our GPS data from when we race. And we have that also for all the hill climb. And so we made a special version for women in motorsport this year. So it's like if people want to make a donation for Margaret's All Women team, they can get one of those cool things like this as an exchange for the donation that will help pay for the expenses for those women to go to the event. So we're trying different things to make this happen and raise funds so that we can get there.
Yeah. So instead of putting out that we were selling these, we were asking people for a donation, and for a donation, they would get a free piece of art that's unique, that comes in, it's all different colors, and it's cool. We have other designs too that we have.
And we actually made another version for Climb to the Cloud, and this one, all the funds are going to the event itself, because it takes a lot of money also to organize an event, and it's only a small club here, so we are helping the club, and we made a limited series of 100 pieces of the climb of the Mount Washington road. And actually, almost half of them are already gone, and all the proceeds go to the club for the
so we really beat my record and bring my all-women team. So yeah, we're trying to raise money for them as well.
That's great. So Margaret, back to your all-women team. So do you have, if there's a single message to young women out there, that thinking about motorsport, what would that be? What would you say to them to get them out there?
Well, I reach out to us or any team.
Yeah, well, I mean, go to a race, spectate, volunteer, start to crew, contact people. I mean, especially all the grassroots teams, they are going to be super happy to talk with you. It's try it for yourself. Go to an autocross. There are autocross all over the country. Go to a rally cross if you are more in the dirt, even with your stock car. Just put snow tires and give it a shot and have fun. And then see what you like, what you don't like. There are a lot of options in motorsport. There is not just those events you see on TV. There is a lot of other things, and you can just go there and you can see you can do it. After that, of course, there is a cost. If you start to go into racing series where you need cages and car preparation and a lot of safety equipment, but there's a lot of ways to have fun for cheap. And for less than $100, you can go autocrossing or rally crossing for the weekend and have fun.
Well, motorsports for women can be intimidating. So just reaching out and volunteering to start and hanging around with a team, because not only us but other teams out there are really interested in teaching people and learning the ropes. And you can crew for a team and not have any mechanical ability. I mean, people need to have their windows cleaned and their snacks replenished, and they can have their tires checked. But there's all different ways that women can become involved in a team and then build up. My crew, my co-driver Jen, she started off as one of our crew people, just answering an ad on Facebook, and I asked her, would you ever consider co-driving? Because when I first started out, I had a hard time finding co-drivers. And every race I did, I had a different co-driver. So, and she's like, well, she never thought about it, but yeah, she would be interested. And her and I just clicked, and we've been racing together. But we've helped a lot of people get involved in racing and rally. And we just took it one step further in the last couple of years of focusing on helping women to get involved. And that's, why we started to this all-female team platform moving forward.
Nice. Great. So get a little philosophical for a moment. If you could give your past selves one piece of advice before starting this whole journey, what would that be?
Well, I would say start earlier. I didn't start until my 40s, but I used to love going four-wheel driving. Four-wheeling in the woods. Growing up in a rural area, so I wish I started earlier. And I would also say go learn some mechanical skills when you're young, because that will be useful throughout your life, not just for racing.
Great. So anything from your side, Emmanuel, or do you echo
what she said? Yeah, no, definitely start as early as you can. And the other advice I would have so not to myself, but really for people, is like, don't spend the money you don't have, don't raise a mortgage. It's like, keep it simple. A lot of people overthink it. It's like, oh, I need to build my engine. Oh, I need to have a massive swaybar or whatever I read on the internet. It's like, no. Just take the stock car. The engineers who designed the car knew way better and had way more testing and experience. And so keep the car stock until you figure it out and see what needs improvement. Then you can work on those improvements. Spend your money in going to events. That's where you are going to make connection, meet people, learn, and it's seat time. So don't spend your money on the car. Well, you have to buy a car to start, but after that, spend your money on going racing and learning and having seat time. Go to racing school too if you can afford it. There are some great schools in the US. And spend your money on learning how to drive. And then once you know what you are doing, you can start working on developing the car. It takes a lot of time before knowing what needs to be done on a car to make it better.
Yeah, and know your limits as a driver. When you're starting off, don't overdo it.
Yeah, a lot of people overbuild their car and then crash it in the first corner of the first race because they think they are the best driver in the world. Most of us are not the best drivers in the world, so go out there to have fun. Don't go out there for winning. You will have a way better time, way better experience, and enjoy it.
And just start on finishing.
Right.
Yes,
that's great. So as we wrap up, can you tell our listeners, you shared some of the products that you have out there, other ways that they can support your campaign, or or apply to be part of your all women team, Margaret.
Yeah, so for women that want to apply to my all women team, they just need to go to wim.frogracing.us, so wim.frogracing.us.
Women in Motorsport.
And it will come right to our web page.
Yeah, there's a form where you can apply online. Just fill the form. We'll get the info and we'll get back to you.
Great. We have to get into Pikes Peak first.
Yes. And we are waiting for the group. Yeah, the application is going to be toward the end of the year, so December 2nd, I think it's opening. So,
and we're really trying hard to raise funds so that we can go, because we can't afford it on our own.
Sure. So, what are some ways, the products, or there are other ways that folks can support you in that regard?
Yeah, so there's we call it a store. It's not really a store, but as a lack of better term, we call it store. So if you go to store.frogracing.us, there are a bunch of ways of making donations, and there are items that you can get in exchange for your donation. If you are a parts manufacturer, or you want to just get involved in sponsoring the team itself, you can write us at sponsorship@frogracing.us, or just go on the website, contact us any way you want. The emails are going to come to both of us in the end anyway. Whatever email you do at frogracing.us, it's going to come to both of us. Okay. And we'll be super happy to talk options.
He's the brain cell of the organization.
Well, my day job is computer stuff, so that's
nice.
I do the website.
So speaking of computers, what's the best way to follow Frog Racing?
So of course there's a YouTube channel. We have the Frog Racing YouTube channel. Sometimes it's hard to find it right away because you get a lot of frogs video,
like real frogs,
and people trying to race frogs. But yeah, that's the logo on Margaret's t-shirt.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
nice.
I have it here too.
Nice.
It's Frog Racing in one word as a username on YouTube. Facebook.com/frogracing will get you there. The website is frogracing.us and has all the links to all our social media. On Instagram, I think Frog Racing was already taken, so we are Frog Racing US on Instagram.
Okay.
And yeah, any of those media. I mean, most of the info goes first on Facebook because we are old people, so we use Facebook. And all my videos are shot to fit on YouTube. So when I have time, I make another version to fit on Instagram or YouTube Short. But most of the content is already formatted for YouTube, and so we can't really share YouTube links on Instagram. So we have less content on Instagram than we have on Facebook.
In addition to when people can do store.frogracing.us, right, to get directly to the store.
Yeah, and they will get the information about the Women in Motorsport program as well.
Excellent. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts? Any shout outs to sponsors, or crew members behind the scenes, or just anything in general you'd like to share with
yeah, well, for sure would like to thank we have had many sponsors over the years, but this year we had OCT Composites, we had Rally.Build, we had Seal Savers. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. And we had, of course, Rayteam. You want to stop your phone? Sorry, there's the phone ringing. Sorry for that. So we're going to make a certain take. Actually, I have the list of the sponsors here.
Should I get more pieces of the art to show, or?
No, that's fine.
Sure.
But we can send pictures.
Yeah, you can send some pictures, or share some. That's great. Love to see them.
She's going upstairs. The printer is upstairs. Okay,
yeah,
so
if you want to share some pieces, yeah.
No, that's another Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak.
And you have the cutout in 2D of the road in there too.
And then this one is the one for Climbs to the Cloud. Nice. The limited edition where all the donations go directly to helping climb to the clouds.
And the bits in green are glow in the dark. So in the night they just glow.
Oh,
and
cool.
That's the limited edition there.
Oh, okay.
So in terms of sponsors, this year we had OCT Composites, Ready.Build, Demanco Logistics, and Seal Savers. Of course, for the Pikes Peak run with, we were partnering with Rayteam and Cotton Socks that had the other S1 and their main sponsors. So I should have them on the T-shirt.
There you go.
Liquid Valley and Watertown Savings Bank, that the T-shirt that the team was wearing at Pikes Peak. So definitely a lot of help from those sponsors, because even if Frank and Rayteam basically sponsored the whole venture to Pikes Peak, it's a lot of effort from a lot of people to go to these events, and a lot of support from all the sponsors as well. We can't make that without the sponsors. So hopefully we'll have enough sponsors to bring a nice team of women next year and be able to get everybody on the hill, and also at Mount Washington, because that's going to be really epic.
No,
and you have to hear that RS4 roar on the mountain. It's
yes, yes, for sure. That's not to be missed, right? That is not to be missed. Love it. That's great. Thanks again to you both, not just for joining us today, but for everything you're doing, your grassroots efforts, the bringing more women into motorsports, all fantastic. So thank you both for that. For our listeners out there, be sure, follow them both. Emmanuel, Sharron, as we talked about, all kinds of content out there. His Pikes Peak run is on the special edition Behind the Wheel. Follow Margaret's journey as she puts this all women's team together for 2026. And if you're not already a member of the world's largest community of Audi owners and enthusiasts, like Emmanuel and Margaret here, hit the link in the description of this video. Learn more about memberships and all the great benefits that come with it. Thank you all very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.